Well, thank you all very much for inviting me to join you today. I apologize that the only Polish I'm able to speak is when I'm eating. And I eat Polish cuisine very well, but I don't speak it very well. So I apologize for those of you who have to listen to the translator, although it looks like very few of you have that problem, and I'm the only one that's going to have to wear translation equipment. My task today is to try to combine some observations about the technological evolution of the Internet and its impact on business. And I hope that by the end of my presentation, it will stimulate some of your thinking about how this network is evolving and what it's doing to business opportunities. Let me start, though, by telling you that my title at Google is Chief Internet Evangelist. And on my first day of work, I thought it would be appropriate to appear in full ecclesiastical regalia. Now, today I'm only appearing in my usual three-piece suit. This is actually the full academic garb of the University of the Balearic Islands, where I was given an honorary degree some years ago, and it looked about right for the Chief Internet Evangelist. So I showed up at Google, and Eric Schmidt, the CEO, immediately took out his camera and took this picture. So let's just quickly recap where we've gotten in the last 10 years on the Internet. If I were meeting with you in 1997, I would have been very excited to tell you there were 22.5 million computers on the Internet. Of course, in January of 2006, there were almost 400 million. I don't have the January 2007 data available, but I would guess it's on the order of 500 million, possibly more. The number of users 10 years ago was 50 million, and I thought that was a pretty good size system. In January of 2007, the estimate is now over 1 billion users on the network. Now, I could get pretty excited about that until it was pointed out to me that there are 6.5 billion people in the world, and we have 5.5 billion more to go. So the evangelist is going to be busy for a while. The other thing which has happened in that same 10-year period is that mobiles have rapidly accelerated their penetration into the telecommunications market. About 1 billion wireline services and 2.5 billion mobiles. It is estimated that as many as 1 billion more mobiles will enter into the market during 2007. And it's also estimated that there are on the order of 1 billion personal computers that are in use today. So it's very clear that the Internet is going to be affected by, for example, the presence of mobiles, and we'll see more of that in a few minutes. I thought you'd be amused just to see what the predecessor to the Internet looked like in 1969. It was 4 computers connected by 4 packet switches in California with one outgrowth into the University of Utah. I was involved with the first node of the Internet, or ARPANET. It was at UCLA, and I wrote the software for a machine called a Sigma 7, which was the first one to be connected to this predecessor to the Internet. The Sigma 7 machine is in a museum now, and there are some people who suggest I should be there with it. I hope I still have something to contribute. But if we fast forward just 30 years ahead, this is what the Internet looks like in 1999. All you can tell from this picture is it got bigger, it got more connected, and more colorful. In fact, it has now become a network of over 250,000 networks that are all interconnected together, all operated independently, and only works because people cooperate to use the same set of standard protocols. If we ask where are the users on the Internet, 10 years ago I would have said mostly in North America. Today I have to tell you it's Asia. It shouldn't be a big surprise. India and China are part of Asia. They represent some 56% of the world's population. They are rapidly becoming the largest user group on the Internet today. The second largest user group is Europe, Of course, part of the reason for that is that the definition of Europe keeps changing. You keep annexing countries to the European Union. I don't know where that's supposed to stop, actually, so maybe in the far future we will all be Europeans. Certainly, a lot of the Americans, including me, have families who used to be Europeans. My family comes from Alsace-Lorraine, for example. But you can see that Europe and Asia are the two largest groupings of users in this rendering. And that's very important because the content, the culture, the style, the interests, the business practices will color what happens on the internet. And so you and your colleagues and our colleagues in Asia are rapidly changing the face of the internet and its content. Let me just say a little bit about the technologies that are shaping the way in which the internet is evolving. When my partner Bob Kahn and I started working on the design in 1973, we knew at that time that there would be new communications technologies invented after we had completed the design of the net. And we were very concerned that the network be essentially future-proof in the sense that it could absorb and use any new communications technology. So when we designed what became the Internet Protocol, we said that it would not know very much about the underlying transmission system. It would only rely on that system to move a packet of bits from point A to point B with some probability greater than 0. That's all that we asked of the underlying system. Everything else was done in higher layers of protocol above the IP layer. So I got a little carried away and with this idea that the Internet Protocol should run on everything, and I had a t-shirt made that says IP on everything. Now, for those of you who speak colloquial English, you'll get the joke. In any event, it seems to have worked because now you assume that the Internet Protocol is widely available, and you start building new protocols on top as if it were a kind of open infrastructure, which it is. So now I think I need a t-shirt that says IP under everything because people are building everything on top of it. It has a very interesting characteristic. These packets, these internet packets, don't know what's carrying them, satellite, optical fiber, coaxial cable, but they also don't know what they're carrying. All they know is they're carrying a little bag of bits, but they don't know if it's digitized video, digitized audio, maybe part of a web page, someone's email. So basically this internet layer of protocol separates application from the underlying transmission technology. That is very different from our historical posture where we would build a network for a specific application. Television over the air in a dedicated set of frequencies, radio over the air, dedicated frequencies, telephony over twisted pair, television over cable, or now television over and telephony over satellite. But we kept binding applications to particular transmission media and then creating regulatory regimes to go with them in big vertical silos. The internet cuts through all of this and says, I really don't care how the packets are carried, and the packets don't care what application they're supporting. And so it changes the picture so dramatically that the regulatory structure really needs to adapt.